Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a CraftySimulations video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So, as we all tend to know, I do tend to be loving me a Diamond DA-42. Specifically of the cows variety of Diamond DA-42. I've made quite a few videos on this aircraft, and to be honest with you, it hasn't been a while since I've actually flown it. The last time I flew this aircraft was when the latest update came out for this aircraft, so I haven't really done much flying in it. And that's a shame, because like I said, in my personal opinion, I think this is probably one of the best twin-engined aircraft here in the simulator. So I thought to myself, I'm going to have to get refreshed on this aircraft. It's been a while since, like I said, I can't remember the last even twin-engined aircraft I flew in the sim. Because I've flown, obviously, the aircraft that I did in the previous video, the Cessna 195. I did the practice video, practice flight even for that video. I've flown quite a bit in the Huey, because that thing be awesome. But I haven't flown this. So I thought, blow it. It's time to get refreshed in the Diamond DA-42. So, we are currently sat at RAF Waddington. We've gone back to where we originally started doing all our videos. We're sat in the general aviation section of RAF Waddington. Yes, it does actually exist. It is a military airbase, a frontline military airbase at that, and they do have a section for general aviation. They have a flying aero club here, which has aircraft such as that little Cessna 152. I believe they have something else. I can't remember off the top of my head what they have. They don't have a DA-42. I don't think that's ever come into this place. But certainly not the civilian version. But we are here. And this being my local airbase, I thought it'd be a good place to actually refresh myself on the controls, handling ability of the DA-42. Nothing to do with the fact that it has a stonking great big long runway, and if my landing skills are, should I say when my landing skills are not up to par, I've got a nice long runway so that I can do whatever I want. So, today's video, we're actually going to be flying, like I said, from RAF Waddington, and we're going to be flying to RAF Waddington. We're going to be flying circuits. It's a good way of getting back into the way of flying this aircraft. So let's just get everything how I would like it. Centralise that a little bit. Right. So as you know, we'll be flying this repainted. I think this is actually featured in the sim so far in the videos. Right. So let's just check everything is honky-dory even before we start pressing buttons. I'm not going to go too much into the review of this aircraft because, like I said, I've covered this. So we'll have the battery on. Let that load up. Our positional lights are coming on. Enter to open that up. Let that load up. Currently sat in our normal parking location. We will be taxiing out onto Delta taxiway and taking off on runway 20. So we'll be using the taxiway to our right and tunneling on back up to, well, actually, runway 20. So let's have those on, if I can actually click on them. Right, so we are clear on the left side, clear on the right side, and we'll start the engine up with the canopy open before that. So lovely sounds this aircraft now. Not that it didn't have lovely sounds to start off with, so set that, wait for the O to clear. Glow plug has gone out. Clear plug. Lovely sounds. Right, let's shut that. Thank you. We'll open the cat flap because it is quite warm. Right engine. Looking for the right glow plug marker to go away. And it's gone, and we are clear on the right. Good start. Avionics coming on. Let the communications load up. Control checks.
TOS system test. Okay.
And get my feet on the pedals would be helpful. Actually, we'll shut this up. Gets a bit noisy. So, let's turn, it's a bit cloudy, so we'll turn on some of our internal lights. So while we're sat here, we shall just check if I remember the keybinds. Where are they? There they are. So, as with the new update, things changed on this screen. The way the information is given to you. So at the moment we're looking for oil temperatures to get into the green, coolant temperature to get into the green. In fact, we'll open this one up. De-icer we don't have, so don't worry about that. Yeah, the main one we're looking for if we start moving too much is the gearbox temperature. We need that to be into the green. Reset the fuel so we know what we've got. Obviously we've got plenty of fuel. Actually, just while we're sat here, it amazes me still just how beautiful this aircraft is. Carol's did a fantastic job creating this aircraft, and from every angle it looks the part. Sometimes the click spots aren't exactly where you'd imagine them to be. Obviously at the moment we would be normally pre-inputting our flight plan. Obviously we don't have a flight plan at the moment because we are departing and arriving into the same airfield, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll also be setting up the autopilot. Again, I'm staying in the local area, so I'm not going to be setting up an autopilot. So really we're just sat here doing diddly squat at the moment. We'll do a flap check. So flaps to mid. Set. Flaps to full. Set. Flaps travelling back up again. And set. So really there isn't a lot to do. This aircraft's very, very, for a twin engine, it's very, very simple. The wonderful thing that actually Diamond put in is a very technological aircraft, but it's actually simplified with the assistance of a G1000 setup, which obviously breaks down into the engineering and navigation and pilots. I'm not going to use the word head-up display because it's not, but it is a very good system of giving you all the information you need. This is the joys of Flight Simulator. You could fly this straight away now and be absolutely fine, but I do want to fly this sort of semi-realistic. So gearbox temperatures are coming up. They need to be really in the green. In fact, we can put the engines up to about 1,000 RPM. And that will assist. I think it's after about 31 degrees, I think it is, the temperature will go into the green. Obviously, like I say, de-icer will be flashing 0 because we're not actually carrying any de-ice. That being because it is summer in England and it is quite muggy and warm, and we will definitely not be needing de-ice for this flight. Such a lovely futuristic looking aircraft. Whichever way you look at it. So left engine's got into the white, that's fine, so... That's 36 degrees, not 31 degrees. So we'll be fine, 135 now anyway for the right engine, so that's fine. So we're clear on the left side, clear on the right side, and no one's in front of us, parking brake coming off, and taxi lights coming on. Brake check. Brakes are fine. It'd be interesting to see if actual real pilots use Microsoft Flight Simulator as an aid, or believe in it as an aid. I mean, there's probably some pilots that probably think this is probably quite bad, because you get people like me who think they know what they're doing. Trust me, I don't think I know what I'm doing. I ain't got the foggiest. We're just going to park up here and do our run-up test. Position our back end so it's out over the field over here. Parking brake is set, and we'll just check. So coolant temperature is good, gearbox temperature is good, the fuel system is good. Everything is in the green, which is what we want, while the ISA. So, click spot is in the middle, parking brake is set, and let the aircraft do its tests. And we'll run that test twice. Test complete. Strobe lights coming on, landing lights coming off, taxi lights coming off, positional lights are on, flaps are up. Tank set to crossfeed. Trim is set. Let's pull that out a bit. So, flaps are up. This will be a left-hand departure out of runway 20. And we're going to be staying in the local area to do some circuit practice. So approach. First one will probably be a gear down but not a touchdown. And then we'll go into an actual landing approach. Communications we're not using. We're clear on approach. And flaps are up. And this is going to be a rolling takeoff. So everything's set. Well, let's go. Full throttle. Airspeed is alive. in 60, 70, 80, and nose up. Tap the brakes, gears coming up. We're coming out of climb power. We don't want to be getting up too much altitude. A very good training aircraft, and this is actually the DA-42 is used by a lot of training companies to train on multi-engined aircraft with advanced avionics. So chances are, if you're actually learning to fly and hoping to fly an airliner, you'd probably start off on one of these aircraft. So we're going to keep the landing lights on as we start our pass down the backside of Waddington. So my usual approach into runway 20 for RAF Waddington is to fly over Branston, over what looks like a industrial farming land. I've no idea what that is, if I'm honest. But we head over the side of Branston, and there's a building, I do believe, with a blue roof in the sim. I don't know whether this obviously exists in real, and we use that as our turning point. But if we can't see that, we will be, like I say, down the side of Branston and turning before we enter, before we get towards Lincoln. So flaps going down to one stage. And I can see the blue building already. Just passing towards our left engine nacelle. I don't know what it is down there, but it sticks out. And that's not uncommon for pilots to use points that they can see very easily on the ground to work out exactly where they are. So, gear coming down. We trim the aircraft. Runway's in sight. This will not be a touchdown. This will be a fly down to approach and then pull up, power up and get going again. So landing checks, we are 500 feet, gear down, flaps one stage. This will be a missed approach. Slipping on to approach. Powering up. Gear coming up. Flaps coming up. Quite a good approach. Plenty of muscle memory in this aircraft. I mean, like I say, it's been a while since I've flown this aircraft, but it sort of comes back to you. Especially when it's something you really like to do. So remember, we're looking for observation points on the ground to work out exactly where we are. I have got a little nav map running on my spare screen at the moment. But we're looking for the farmland, first of all. And then on the outskirts of Branston, there is the blue building, or blue buildings. After that, we'll start our left-hand turn. And then there is a house that if we pass to the right-hand side of it, will put us fairly close and on approach for runway 20 there at RAF Waddington. So can't miss the farmland, we're going over that now. Flaps going down to one stage. Retrim. Blue building in sight. Starting left-hand turn. Gear coming down. I've got the next building in sight. Which is this building coming up now, again under the left hand side of the left engine. So slipping now onto approach, and this will be a rolling landing, a rolling approach. So final checks, gear down, flaps one stage, lights are set, engines are set. Was a little bit to the right there on that approach. Landing markers in sight. Nose coming up, throttle coming back. Touchdown! Bit of rudder, stabilise the aircraft. Throttle back up, let's go! $70 knots. 80 knots. Rotate. Tap the brakes, gear coming up. It can be quite a squirrely aircraft when you touch down. If you touch down on both main wheels at the same time, it's usually alright, but if you do touch down left wheel or right wheel, it does tend to need a bit of a rudder input to straighten up. And obviously, like I say, runway at RAF Waddington is plenty long enough, plenty wide enough. But if we was flying into Wickenby, the runway is not that wide or that long. So we're going to make one more approach, and this will be a roller, and then we'll go into the finals for a touchdown and landing properly. So once again, we are looking for observation points, so we're going a little bit to the left of the farmland, but I can see the blue building already, so that's perfectly fine. We want a blue building to pass under our left engine nacelle. So there's the left building, starting our turn, flaps going down to one stage. Gear coming down. Remember, on the last approach we was a little bit to the right, so I've got the next observation point in sight, so I want to be flying directly over that. So 500 foot checks. We are flaps 1 stage, gear down and locked, 3 green. Runway is in sight. On approach. Over threshold. Touchdown, stabilize, throttle back up, let's go. $70 knots, 80 knots, rotate. Tap the brakes, gear coming up. Flaps coming up. This is one of my favourite ways of relearning an aircraft. You can learn the systems obviously as you fly, but it's the handling of the aircraft. And in an aircraft that was developed by cows who knew exactly what they were doing and have made a very realistic representation of the DA-42, you do need to relearn how she handles. So far, not bad landings. And now we're going to set up for our finals. And this will be a final landing. Touchdown and stop. So we're just passing a little bit to the left of our first observation point, but that's not too bad. Looking for the blue building. Building in sight, left-hand turn. Flaps going down, 1 stage. Gear coming down. Gear down 3 green. So landing checks. Landing lights are on. Gear is down and locked 3 green. Flaps are down 1 stage.
500.
And this will be a landing and full stop. Not a bad landing. Flaps coming up. Landing lights are on, taxi lights are off, strobe lights are off. Okay, static has brought a warning up, and that's because we're not actually on in the air. I'll pass a certain speed. In fact, we'll turn that off now because we don't need it. That will bring a warning up. Welcome back to set. Avionics off. Positional lights are off. Taxi lights are off. So there we go. A little bit of a practice in the Cows DA-42. Obviously, I'm not going to go too much into a review of this video, a review of this aircraft even. If you want my thoughts on this aircraft, check out my videos I've done on the various updates that have come out for this aircraft, for my actual thoughts of what Cows have done for this amazing aircraft. It is fantastic, it is awesome, it is, in my view, one of the best twin-engined aircraft out there on the sim. I know there are other good aircraft out there. This one is my personal favourite. So if you've got any questions or comments regarding the DA-42 by cows, let me know and I will get around to answering them as soon as I can. I'm actually doing a comparison between all the Diamond aircraft here on the sim. So this is dealing with the expensive likes of cows, the DA-50, the DA-20, and then we've also got the flight simulator versions, DA-64, is it DA-62? I can't remember, but it's another twin-engine version, slightly bigger than this aircraft. So we're going to do a little bit of comparison between them. That's coming up in the future. That's going to be like a mini-series. So yeah, that to look forward to. So like I say, you got any questions or comments, bang them below, and I will get round to answering them as soon as I can, and I will see you guys and girls in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator video very, very soon.